All right, welcome everyone to the webinar. My name is Autumn Stafford with NSU Career Services, and we are here to learn a little bit about VIP Kid. I will not prolong getting started, so I'm just going to hand it on over to Kelly to let us get started learning about VIP Kid.
Hello, my name is Kelly, and I do work with VIP Kid. A little bit about my journey is I have worked with VIP Kid for 218 days. I have taught 205 students for a total of 667 classes and 16,675 minutes. And we are so glad that you have joined us today in learning about our amazing company. So today, I want to introduce also the picture on the screen. This is the very first teacher with VIP Kid, and you will see as we go through our webinar today kind of where we have grown. So today we're going to cover these topics that you see right here on our webinar, and let's go. All right, VIP Kid was founded in 2013 by these two amazing ladies. Cindy Mee was an entrepreneur when she was 12 years old. She taught herself English and then realized that if she helped others teach English, she could make some money. So as time went on, she realized there was a big need for English tutors. And so she got together with Jessie Chin, who was an educator, and said, what if we created a company that reached our kids with people from America and North America, and they taught them English. You see, in China, having an English tutor is a very high status, and education is very, very serious. So with those elements, they came together and formed VIP Kid, and we have exploded. In fact, they started with that very first teacher, and now we have over 350,000 students and over 50,000 teachers. So people always say, well, do they really need more teachers? Yes, because we teach kids from age 5 to about 15, and there's about 32 million Chinese kids in that age range. So what they are looking for are more teachers to expand, not only in China, but we are currently expanding to Philippines, Japan, Thailand, and their goal is to reach other countries as well. So that is why we are here today telling you about VIP Kid to see if we are a good fit for you. And then I will help you show VIP Kid that you are a good fit for them. So in VIP Kid, our teaching style is a one-on-one lesson. We are basically a tutor. The kids have the teaching philosophy of a flipped classroom. So basically a flipped classroom is a classroom that has a video before you even teach the kids. The kids watch this video, and after the video, they come to your class. Now, not all kids have seen the video, but you can tell the ones that have, because they pretty much know the information. As a VIP Kid teacher, we are there to help them with the conversation piece and being able to talk with a native speaker. And then after that, they have more homework on the backside that reviews what we have already taught. And then they continue that flipped classroom model, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Now, the next question some teachers ask is, what curriculum does VIP Kid use? And we actually are a Common Core, because the majority of the United States is Common Core, so we also use Common Core. And then our growth. As I said, we have gone from one teacher to a few kids to over 350,000 kids and 50,000 teachers, and they look to grow more. In fact, VIP Kid was named the #1 company to work from home in Forbes magazine this year. So you are in a great, great place. So qualifications of teachers. We like to do this at the end of the semester because you have to have a bachelor's degree in hand, and then a US, Canadian, or Canada passport, and with the North American accent. And you either need to be working as a teacher in an elementary school or have teaching experience, and that can be homeschool, or that can be tutoring, or that can be working at a childcare. So just being able to say, yes, I have been in front of kids for at least 1 year. And then stable internet connection and headsets. So I got these headsets. They have a mute button, which you're going to want. They're called Logitech. You can get them on Amazon or Best Buy for around $23.99, $24.99. Okay, so why VIP Kid? Now I'm going to show you a couple of videos. Let me set this one up. This one is Minnie. So this is one of Minnie's very first class. And if you can hear in the background, her mom is sitting off to the side and she's helping her. And this, you will see the transformation in the next video. But when we got to this slide, this was a very repetitive lesson to get her to know the words headphones, computer, keyboard, and we had gone over this lesson, these particular slides, I don't know, 3 or 4 different slides in many different ways to get her to these points. So I'm going to go ahead and let you listen. Okay, so you can see that in the beginning, she, even with knowing these are and the sentence structure, she had some delayed kind of issues. In fact, Minnie was one of those students that other teachers had written, don't push her too hard because she will shut down and she will cry the whole lesson. So my goal, we have teacher to teacher feedback, and my goal when I was teaching her was to never have her cry and to always have her keep going. And so that's why they continued to book me, because the mom said she felt very comfortable with me as her teacher because she never felt like she couldn't do it. And so this is this week's lesson. I have now taught Minnie over 20 times. That first lesson was in November, and then they took their Chinese holiday, and then they have come back. I teach Minnie once a week, and this is where we are today. and I will put a little bit, you will see she does a sentence frame all by herself. And as the teacher, this was the very first time she did it completely on her own. And I didn't want to expand the lesson, but then she even did a better one where I asked the question and she answered right away. So okay, so as her teacher, the one thing this particular lesson taught me was that next class, I am going to kind of stop feeding her as much to see if I can challenge her a little bit to give me those sentence structures without so much help. But because I have always helped her a little bit, I continued in that pattern. So why VIP Kid? Because you get to see kids like Minnie. I'm actually tearing up, but you get to see kids like Minnie start flourishing and feeling so confident and just excited. So another why VIP Kid. This is Elroy. Elroy is 7, and obviously underneath is not me. This is my son, Jack. Elroy is a month older than my son, Jack, and throughout classes, um, my son Jack has come in and they have built a little bit of a relationship. In fact, we actually are on an international Instagram with some of my kids, and Elroy is one of the kids, and Jack and Elroy do videos back and forth to each other and conversations, which help with that natural English language, because sometimes our lessons are very scripted, so it doesn't have that natural component. But Elroy's mom wrote me and said, Elroy wants to give Jack a birthday party because the month earlier, Jack and I had given Elroy a birthday party. We made Elroy a computer cutout cake, and he earned candles for his cake. But this is what they did for Jack. Oh, and a little bit more of this story. So when you teach with VIP Kid, you either teach in the morning or in the evening, because we are 13 hours difference right now before the time change. Once the time change hits, we'll be 14 hours different. But this is at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I literally 2 minutes before this class was like, Jack, get up, get up, get up. So my son is very tired. I literally just woke him up, and he actually doesn't sound like he knows English very well. You will hear some of the things he says, and they're not very coherent. So here we go. So as the mom, I was literally almost in tears when I saw that big birthday cake. Holy moly. And Elroy, if you noticed, he got to use that natural conversational language, and that was just such a good experience for both families. The mom actually wrote me and said, "Thank you for letting Elroy do that before class." So why VIP Kid? You get to work from home. You can see this is my classroom behind me. Does it have to be this elaborate? No. You can have just a simple poster behind you. They do want something educational behind you, but it doesn't have to be much. Some teachers teach in closets, some teach in their garage. I actually homeschool as well, so this is our homeschool room. That part of it we have turned into my classroom. You get to work your time schedule. So during the summer, you may want to work lots and lots of hours. In fact, summer is a great time to start because beginning July 1st, all the way through August 31st, the kids are on summer themselves in China. And so you can open up nighttime classes and morning classes. And it's that perfect gap in Oklahoma when teachers don't get paid from July to September. You could actually work quite a bit of hours in Oklahoma teaching Chinese kids and not missing any of that income. So we make about $18 to $20 an hour, $21 an hour if you have a master's, if you have taught for a while, if you have ESL training at all. And if you teach in Oklahoma, they will ask you in your interview, have you taught ESL kids? And you can say confidently, yes, you have, because more than likely you do have kids who speak Spanish in your classroom. And so feel free to say, yes, I do. I do not have an ESL certification, but I have taught ESL kids. Even as an intern, you probably have experienced that. So teach while the world is asleep. My son actually says, "Mom, I love this job because you teach while I'm asleep and you do not miss any time with me." So, but it works great because some people go, "Oh, I can't get up at that time of the morning." And that's okay. They have nighttime hours as well. And I will show you that here in a second. So we are a growing, expanding company, and we're going to be around for a long time. They get better. Even since I started 216 days ago, they have gotten better. And they're very good at listening to the teachers and determining teacher happiness. In fact, Jessie Chin will show up sometimes at meetups around the nation. A meetup is where a group of teachers from that state or a community get together for an event, a lunch, a dinner, a painting class, just to kind of be with others who love this crazy. And she will show up and ask, what can we do to make VIP Kid better? That there's surveys always going out. What can we do to make VIP better for our teachers? Because they know if we're happy, our parents are going to be happy. So let's talk about the routine of a VIP Kid teacher. So I'm actually going to go to the website and I'm going to log in. This is my website. And this is what you will see when you very first open. You'll see some kind of stats. You can see various things, but the two main areas that I spend time in are right here. This is your booking schedule. So I'm going to go to one that is empty. You can see I'm booked out up until this week. Kids can book 2 weeks in advance. So I taught these kids this week. Like these kids I taught on Monday. Elroy is the one that has given Jack the cake. I have taught him every Monday at 6 o'clock since November. There's a girl named Kelly right here. I teach Kelly 3 times a week, and they haven't rebooked for Wednesday yet, but they will. And then when I teach her tomorrow, she'll rebook for this time as well. So I teach Kelly 3 times a week. I have taught her over 50 times now, and you just continue to get the same students. So all of these time slots for me will usually fill up before the end of the week. But right here is kind of an example of times. And if you look right here, if you notice, these are kind of peach. The peach times say, hey, they're not the hot spots, but they probably will get booked, meaning a student will book you. So if you are a morning person, here in Oklahoma on Central Time Zone, we can work from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now, for me, I would love to teach 7 to 9 a.m. That sounds glorious. But with our schedule, and I homeschool and my husband works from home, he likes me done about 7:30. So you'll notice that I'm usually done. But you, if you are not a morning bird, you can work 7, even 8. So this schedule is roughly, if you notice, I teach about 2 hours in the mornings. On Fridays, I have a kid that begged me for a class, so I now teach 2.5 hours. But with that amount of time, this particular schedule, I make about $1,000 a month. So for 2 hours a day, it is very worth it. Now, if you notice these bright orange times, those are times that are hot, and they will probably always fill once you get established. So they will fill, and you can always guarantee that you'll have bookings on those. Now, these other white spots doesn't mean they won't fill. You can still try to get them to book, but chances are they will, they may or may not book. Sometimes they have homeschool students in China, so the 8 o'clock time slots during the week will book. But for the most part, these times in China are 5 a.m. is actually 6 p.m. in China, and 8:30 is actually 9:30 p.m. So you will be teaching these little 5-year-olds at 9:30 at night and their time, and it's crazy, but education is so serious and so competitive in China, and having an English tutor, as well as I said, is very high on the status ranking, so they will book those classes. So once I know who I'm going to teach, so tomorrow I will come in and I'll see, okay, I'm teaching Emily, Sean, and Kelly. So I will come over here to my classrooms, because the other question is do you know what you're going to teach? Absolutely. So this is May, so I have to go to the next month so I can see the next month. And right down here, you can see I can pull up materials for any one of my students. Once they book your class, you know exactly what you're going to teach. This is an assessment, so it's going to look a little different. I'm going to go to another lesson. And that was a higher level assessment. That was a level 4 assessment. And then this is kind of what a level 2 would look like. So you have the material. Then once you teach the class, you are going to fill in what they call feedback. I'm going to go to the current month so you can see what feedback looks like. After you teach the lesson, it is 25 minutes. You are going to fill in feedback. Now, I have most of this pre-done ahead of time, and I just fill in things that they need to work. There's a program called Feedback Panda. Too much information right now, but it doesn't have to be this detailed. Just a little message to the parents of what the kids did well today on and what they need work on. Then the next question is tips to other teachers. So I will write a little note. She likes to draw, which means maybe in your class you use a reward where she draws, and then we have to kind of rank how the students did. And that is kind of our routine. Once you teach your classes, you fill out that feedback, and then you get paid. So VIP Kid is very good and addicting. They will show you how much you are making. It'll tell you the lessons that you teach and how much you're making. And so for this month, I made $860 because we took a week vacation. So also during the week, you have the academy that you can go to, and you can see there's workshop schedules. VIP Kid is very big on professional development. So if you go look at the workshop schedules, you can take all different kind of classes. There's also just some training that you can do on your own and see all these different tips. You can do as much or as little of this as you like. And it's just, VIP Kid is just really good at that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sign out because later I'm going to pull this back up. So again, if you have questions over any of this, feel free to type them in the chat, and at the very end, I will go through them. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. So the hiring process, this is kind of why you guys are here. So the hiring process will have teacher preparation, meaning you're going to prepare a little bit. You're going to, actually, my slide is out of order. So this is the back half, but I will go ahead and show you this. You're going to apply first, and you'll see that in just a moment. Then you're going to do an interview. Once you do the interview, then you're going to do teacher preparation, which means that they're going to give you some training before you go on. Then you're going to have either a mock 1 and mock 2. I'm not going to go through those today in this webinar because everybody's path is different after the interview. I know some people who have done a mock 1 and gotten hired right away. I did a mock 1 and mock 2. Some people have gone to a workshop. There's just different avenues. Then they're going to do a background check, and then you're going to submit a profile bio and a couple of pictures and a video. Here is a video. Autumn told me earlier that this sound did not come out, so I'm going to kind of do some voiceover. So know that if it doesn't match up, it's because I'm doing the voiceover. But this is what your bio will look like, and it doesn't have to be fancy. You will create it. It'll be whatever. This is my friend Marie, and she's given me permission to use hers because hers is a very good example. Hi, my name is Teacher Marie. I help you learn to speak English. My classroom learning is easy and fun. You ready? Let's go! So just a really easy video, and then you're going to open your schedule. So then, as I said, the first is the hiring process. You're going to apply. As soon as you reply, they're going to send you back an email that says, yay, we are so excited. We are looking for teachers like you, and we want you to interview. Here's the #1 tip I tell people. If you are planning a vacation, if you are planning to have a surgery, do not interview, do not apply right away. But if you are ready to go and you can give them about 10 days, you're not going to do 10 days of work, but when you interview, they will say, we want to finish the process in about 10 days. Will you be available to continue to meet with us on your schedule, but within the 10 days? And you're going to say yes. So make sure you have your time available to do that. So when you interview, you're going to do either a demo or live. And I'm going to tell you, the people that I have helped who do the live interview will make $2 to $3 more, because when you do the demo, they're going to send you back a, hey, we're going to give you $18. And there's not a person on the other side of the video and a real live person seeing emotions and all of that. So there's no countering with that. I had someone try to counter and they said, $18 is what we give. But the people that have done the live interviews that I have helped have earned $20 and $21 depending on their experience. And I will tell you how to do that when we work together. So it is very amazing. Actually, I'll tell you right now because it's very easy. When you're doing the live interview, they will ask you, how much do you think you should get paid? Now, I have taught for over 20 years, but I thought $20 was the highest, so I said 20. And they said, okay, we'll give you 20. And what I realized later was what I needed to say was, you know what? I have worked for 20 years. I have taught students from all over the world. I have taught ESL students. I would love to have your highest. I think I deserve your highest. And they will give you $21, more than likely, sometimes 20, and sometimes even 19, depending on experience. But it makes them be the one kind of in the driver's seat, and you're right there with them. In fact, Marie, the girl that you just saw, she makes $21 because she took my tip, and she has taught homeschool and homeschool kids, and that is her experience, and she is making $21 an hour. So now I'm going to show you the kind of what you will do in the interview process. So this is kind of where you'll take notes. I also will send you some links to some more help once you apply, but this is basically what it will look like. So you will do your interview, and you will be meeting with the Chinese person on the other side, and they will say, tell me about yourself, how are you, why VIP kid, you know, typical questions. And then they'll say, are you ready? And you'll say, okay, let's go. And then they're going to put up the PowerPoint that you will teach. We are not allowed to show the exact PowerPoint, but this is my replica of the PowerPoint. And so and then you're going to go into teacher mode, and you're going to pretend that they are a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, and you are teaching them. So I'm going to go through the process. Title sign. Okay, are you ready? Yes, let's go. Hello, my name is Kelly. What is your name? Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you. How old are you? 5? Wow. Are you ready? Let's go. I feel sad. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel angry. I feel happy. I feel happy. Great job, Julia. Way to go. Good job. You got an ice cream. Good job. Julia. D. 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 Julia. Duck. D. D. Yes. Duck. D. D. Cow. D. D. No. Cow. D. D. Elephant. D. D. Elephant. D. D. No. Elephant. No. Elephant. D. D. Dog. Dog. Yes. Dog. D. D. Great job, Julia. Great job. You got 2 ice cream. Good job. Hmm. V. N. V. N. Then. Yes. Wet. 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 Yes, good job. Hello, dog. Hello. How do you I feel sad. How do you feel? I feel sad. Yes! How do you feel? I feel happy. How do you feel? Yes! Good job, Julia. Good job. You got an ice cream. Good job. You can write on the screen, but I can't write on the PowerPoint. So here's my screen. Julia. Sad. Sad. Angry. Angry. And then I would clear it and let them do it. And kind of show him. And she's done the activity and she did it great. Good job, Julia. You got an ice cream. Good job. Julia, class is over. You did a great job. You earned 5 ice creams. Good job. I will see you later. Goodbye. Click. And then I would basically exit the classroom or pretend I was exiting the classroom. So a couple of things that I did when I prepped, I forgot to have the et slide, and I should have probably done et wet when I did then. And on that beginning slide, you open with, when you do a good job, you will get an ice cream. Ice cream. So a couple of things that I did not do during that pacing, but that's what you'll do. So here are some dire tips. Number 1, pacing, 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 pacing. They are looking to see if you can get a slide done within a minute's time. On our normal PowerPoints, there are 25 slides usually, and give or take, and you want to make sure you can get each slide done in a minute or spend a little bit more time on one and less time on another, but average a minute. Correct twice and move on. So pretend that that English student on the other side, Chinese student, is not getting it. Most of the time for the interview, they will be very gracious and they will get the activity. But if they don't, correct them twice and then move on. If you noticed, I really watched for incidental language. That is language like extra words that do not need to be there. For instance, as I said, is a very big incidental language, and you know with those littler kids, if you teach them, they will repeat that. So I will say and they will say And it really, this job will help you with that. And then total physical body response. Even as I've talked to you guys today, you've noticed I've used my hands. With English learning language people, it's super important to have your hands, gestures, facial expression. When you do that, I feel sad, and it will be there. Really, I feel sad. Just really that total physical response. And again, pacing. Okay, so we are here to our question and answers. And so Autumn is going to help me with that.
All right. That's a good presentation. So for everyone that we have left, do know that you can use the chat box to type in your question, and we'll get to those. I do have kind of a list of some really common questions that a lot of people tend to have, and maybe you even have. So what I'll do is kind of start through that. But again, if you come up with any kind of a question, feel free to type that in here and we'll get that answered as well. So the first one that is pretty common for those of you who are familiar with VIP Kid, you know that orange is kind of their color. So one of the questions that comes up is, do you have to wear orange?
No. Now what they do ask is that you wear a solid color, so it is not distracting to the learner. But it can be any color, and so no, it does not have to be orange. Orange is our signature color, so they like when we wear orange, but we don't have to.
All right. And then is there a limit, or is there a maximum? How many classes would someone have to teach in a week or in a month?
There is not a limit. We are independent contractors, meaning they do not employ us. They don't tell us what we have to teach or when we have to teach. We get to choose. So you can I open up about 25 slots a week, which is 12 and a half hours, and make about $1,000 a month. We have some teachers that work 50 slots a week, which is 25 hours, and they make $2,000. And then we have some teachers that open up 100 slots a week, and they make about $4,000. So it's really up to you. And during the school year, another question people ask is, what about during the school year when I go back to school? Do I have to keep that many open? No. I have some friends who are brick and mortar teachers who have shut their schedule down for a certain period of time during testing or during just various parts of the month when they know that they're going to be busy, and they just don't teach any classes during that time.
Good. Okay, and then we saw this a little bit in your examples, but do you have to use props or secondary rewards?
So a secondary reward, yes, we have what we call stars, and I should have said that from the beginning, and you give stars to the students as you go. They're on the screen, but then we do have a secondary reward like the ice cream. And when you apply and I get that email from VIP Kid that says, hey, will you help our teachers? Will you help this teacher? I will send you for your interview the very first props and a reward system. It's an ice cream reward system that you can use for your interview. But yes, they do want you to have a secondary reward, and especially in the interview process. But props, not necessarily. They at least want you to have a whiteboard. And some teachers teach with very little. I was that kindergarten teacher that I do use props because I think it helps when you can say angry or elephant to know what you're referring to.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so very important question here. How or when does someone get paid with VIP Kid?
Great question. We are direct deposit paid, and that comes on the 15th of every month. Sometimes it's early. This last month, it was on the 11th. So between the 11th and the 15th, it'll show up in your bank. On the 6th of every month, in the payment tab, it'll tell you what they will be sending you, so you can kind of have an idea. But along the way, as I said, it's addicting because they will tell you how much you're making. So then I'm like, oh, I'm only 3 spots from being to 1,000. I can open up 3 more classes.
Mm-hmm.
So they do keep you very informed on exactly how much you're getting paid.
Okay, good. And then we saw this a little bit in your presentation, but can you talk a little bit more about professional development?
Yes. So we have, there's over 100 workshops, meaning times, not necessarily topics, but we have 100 workshops that is a Zoom meeting that you can hop on and register for, hop on, attend, answer questions, have questions answered, feedback, things like that. There also is in that Academy tab, there's all sorts of little video clips and readings that you can do. And then VIP Kid will have meetups in the area. Our next meetup is actually for Oklahoma next Thursday, and we are going to Tahlequah, and we will be doing some kind of professional development there as well. And you can do as much or as little as you want. When I was a very first new teacher, I did all the workshops I can because this is a different platform for most educators. It's not something they're used to where they're trying to teach on a screen to a Chinese person on the other side of the world. How do you figure out how much language they really have? And kind of how do you make that pacing happen? Because as a new teacher, that usually is the very hardest thing to get, is that pacing.
Yeah. So how do you get connected with other VIP Kid teachers? How would you get involved in those meetups?
So we have a Facebook group for Oklahoma, and as soon as you make it through your interview process and you are actually a teacher, we will stay in contact through the whole process. Then I will add you to that Oklahoma VIP Kid page. In the meantime, there's one called VIP Kid for Newbies, and you can get on that today even, and that can ask questions through your interview process as well. And as I said, I am going to help with that. And we connect that way. There also is a weekly update that VIP Kid sends out company-wide as our newsletter. And then they will send out emails and do some special live Facebook on the main VIP Kid page. So there's lots of ways to stay connected.
Good. And I like this question. So can you tell us your favorite thing and your least favorite thing about being with VIP Kid?
So my favorite thing has been the relationships with the kids. And I think you can tell as I had done that, because now that I'm on the international Instagram with these kids and families, several of them, there are gifts coming to my son and myself this week that the parents said, "Can we have your address? We want to send something to you." And we learned so much about the culture. I said thank you to a parent a couple of times on the WeChat, and he said in China, once you become very good friends with someone, you no longer say thank you. So learning the culture, learning the kids. Kelly, that I teach 3 times a week, told me 2 weeks ago that her dad said when she's 20, she's 12, when she's 20, she can come to America to visit me. And Elroy's parents are actually planning a trip in 2020 already, and we have already started talking about where we're going to meet them. And then my family is going to try for next summer. So that is my favorite thing, the relationships with these families that I didn't expect. And then my least favorite thing. So my least favorite thing when I started was I got on a bunch of the bigger Facebook groups, and I heard some different things such as the Chinese families are so serious and we get rated apples, and that they gave kind of some lower reviews. And so for me, the least favorite thing in the beginning, but it was my own fault, was I created this, oh my gosh, I have to be perfect. And you don't. What I have realized as time has gone on is these are very gracious parents. And if you will look at their child as an individual and teach to them like you would in a normal classroom, they are going to build these great relationships with you. I have never gotten any bad reviews. I have taught over 600 kids. I have 249 reviews. All of them are 5 apples, and then one is a 4 apple review, and it was a very good review. I think I was a little much for the kid. Some of the questions, sometimes people say, do you have to be so silly? No, because some teachers, some kids don't like that, and that's why I got the 4 apple. Was the girl that I was teaching, Daisy, was very serious, and it was a birthday lesson, and I had the birthday hat, and I had a baked birthday cake, and and she just looked at me the whole time like, girl, you are a little much for me. So So at the end of the day, all kids need different teachers. If you are kind of on that more serious, you do need to have the total physical response and facial expressions, but you don't have to be so animated and silly and right in their face, because some of those older kids, and she was an older kid, some of those older kids are too cool for school already, right? They want someone who's going to meet them at their levels. Now, if you teach the younger levels, yes, absolutely, you need to be animated, and which is why I don't teach the very first level, because that one is even more than I am. So
Good. Okay, can you explain a little bit about working with VIP Kid if you're considered an employee or a contract worker, how that works?
yes, so we are contract workers, which means that we get paid, and at the end of the year, you kind of have to do your taxes and figure out your tax information. But we don't have the benefits of retirement um, or help me out, or insurance. But being a contract worker is great because we are basically our own boss. As I said, you can work when you want to work. You can take off time. You don't, you can wear whatever color you want. There's not someone kind of dictating when you have to be there, what you have to do. You've got your PowerPoint. It'll have on the bottom guidelines, but you can do whatever you feel as an educator is best for you. You basically are opening your own little teaching store. It's a great way to put it.
Awesome. And then you touched on this a little bit, but just in case this is something that maybe needs to be talked about a bit more, if you have someone who is teaching in the classroom full time, what does that look like as far as their contract might go, or taking breaks, things like that?
So we actually, on the VIP Kid Oklahoma page, do have a lot of people who teach at a normal school and do this as a second source of income. And some of the teachers will teach before they go to work, and then they'll go to work, and then they'll teach there. Some teachers will take off, like my friend Jenny doesn't teach at all during school. She only opens during breaks, Christmas, spring break, summer, and she works a lot. And so it really is up to you and how much you want to put in. Some of the teachers try for those nighttime classes, and once you've been around a while, if you keep opening those classes, you are bound to have someone catch that class and grab that class. So you really can choose to do whatever you would like to do.
Okay, great. I think that's all the questions that we have at this point. So thank you for this presentation. I think it's been very helpful, definitely very informative for anyone that has questions about being a part of VIP Kids. So anyone that watches this and continues to have questions, please feel free to reach out to Career Services, reach out to Kelly, and we'd be happy to help you with those questions. So, all right.
Yes. Okay. Well, let me finish up. Here's next steps, because that's the last question that most people ask is, what do I do next?
Yes.
So I am in the chat box right now going to include this link, which it's not letting me grab because, let me see if I've got it already. Nope. Okay. Let me go back. I'm going to get out of here. I think. Okay. And I'm going to come to this and grab this link. So if you will go to this link, all right. Okay, so you're going to grab that link and you're going to just make sure that that referral code is there in the box. So I'm going to go back to current slide. And if I click on this link, it's going to take me to this slide or to this website. And I'm going to make sure that when I go here to referral code, that this right here, that 055KXN, that is me. So as soon as you apply, it's going to send me an email that says, hey, Andrea, Holly, Autumn has applied, and I know that I need to send you, it'll give me your email address, and I will send you the props needed, and you can write down my contact information as well from this PowerPoint, but it'll send that to you. Let me get back to the PowerPoint. It'll send that to you, and you can write down my information as well. And I will help you along the way. I've even had, if you live here in Tulsa or Broken Arrow, I've had people come over where they have used my classroom, I have helped them, and then we'll go talk through next steps. Because after the interview process, everyone goes in their own direction. It's based on your interview and how you go, and I want to be there to help you each step of the way. VIP Kid is looking for teachers, but they just want to make sure that you're doing certain things, and so I want to make sure that you have those. But that's how I know that you have applied. So as soon as I see that email, then I will get back in contact with you. So, okay, well guys, this is the very last slide. Class is over. I am very sad, but happy that we can help you today. So if you are a teacher who is looking for an extra source of income that you can do on your own time and make, as I said, $18 to $21 an hour, it is such a fantastic job, and I would love to help you. So with that, Autumn, I'm gonna let you finish this out, and we're good. Goodbye, guys.
All right, thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you for everyone that participated. Again, feel free to reach out to Career Services if you have questions. Our website is highernsugrads.com. You can get all of our information there, so please feel free to visit there. We can help you with questions about this webinar as well as any of our other events and programs that we offer. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.